nation that continues year after year to spend more money on military defense than on programs of social uplift is approaching spiritual death.
The source of all our mistakes is fear. Out of fear, great nations have been acting like cornered beasts, thinking only of survival.
Every nation in every region now has a decision to make. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
Terrorism is an issue that has been in existence for centuries. It is not the circumstantial problem that was created out of the terror-related movements during the beginning of the 21st century. Recorded instances of terrorism have been dated as far back as 50 AD, whenever a small group of Jewish terrorists attempted to overthrow the Roman Empire through the use of terror. In more recent years, the presence of terrorism has increased predominantly for the use of aiding a political cause. The rise of modern terrorism advanced greatly after the end of World War II, largely in part by the surge to nationalism in the old empires of the European Union. In today's day and age, terrorism is a term that carries a lot of confusion and negative stigma. In order to better understand what modern terrorism is in today's world, I traveled to the home of a man who dedicates his life to stopping the spread of terrorism and understands the issue extremely well. Could you tell us about what you do?
Sure. My name is Dave McClelland. I'm a special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and I'm a criminal investigator. FBI agents investigate a variety of federal crime, and they also work counterterrorism cases and foreign counterintelligence cases. So, in a nutshell, what I do is I investigate. That's mostly what I do.
All right. Who is someone that the FBI would consider a terrorist or classify as a terrorist?
Okay. The United States has designated certain groups as terrorist groups, and those groups are documented by the State Department. So you can actually go onto the internet and look at the State Department, and it will list every group that the United States considers to be a terrorist group. And the FBI would consider anyone that is supporting those groups, particularly from the United States, as a terrorist. Someone that is providing material support to those groups would be a terrorist. Of course, somebody in the United States that is trying to cause harm in furtherance of those groups' causes would be a terrorist. So the FBI's focus is more on the domestic side, on the people in the United States that are working to further those terrorist groups' agendas.
Okay. What kind of actions would be regarded as terrorist-related actions by this people?
Okay. Well, like I kind of touched on there, if one example might be someone that is providing financial support to one of those groups. For example, there's groups around Israel. There's a group called Hamas, and that's a group that is committed to eliminating Israel, and they are designated as a terrorist group. So if you were to send money from here in supporting that group, you could be charged for supporting terrorism. Certainly ISIS is the more popular group today. People hear more about that group because they're very active in furthering their cause around the world. So if a person was here in the United States and they decided to travel over to Syria or one of these countries where ISIS is fighting to join ISIS, we would investigate their contacts here in the United States, how they're being supported, who's sending them money, things of that nature. And of course, if people are in the United States planning to do things here, we would investigate that. So, and that would be a terrorist act if somebody were to blow something up here. And we've seen some of that here in the last few years as well.
Okay. Agent McClelland later went on to describe how large international terror events could affect many individuals on a smaller regional level, oftentimes resulting in people getting falsely discriminated against because of their looks, as well as having their civil rights violated for unfair reasons during events that require more security, such as airport security background checks. Agent McClelland ended the interview by talking about ways that teenagers can help make a difference in the community by combating terrorism on many different levels.
All right. And what's a way that teenagers and high schoolers can help to counter terrorism, maybe on a small level, that can contribute to the overall picture?
Okay. Well, I think anyone can help just simply being aware of your surroundings and anything that may look unusual. I mean, you may see a package somewhere. You may see someone acting different than they used to act. There's a term called radicalized, and people who become radicalized often will change their behavior when they adopt some of these terrorist groups' beliefs. So that can happen even in a high school level. The FBI, there's no federal law that we can charge anyone criminally if they're under 18, but there are state laws that apply to those kind of acts. And it's not to say we wouldn't investigate those things if someone was under 18, if they were going to commit a terrorist act, of course. But I would think just being aware of your surroundings and just being knowledgeable of current events and what's going on in the world is just a good way to keep a perspective of how things are changing and what you need to be noticing in your surroundings.
All right. That's all I've got for you. Thank you for your time.
Okay, you're welcome.